People are hesitant to seek out help after a death. They're generally so overwhelmed that they don't know what to do, which way to turn.
We lost Jake due to an accident. He was playing with a firearm and it went off.
My daughter, who's now 14, was 11 when her father passed away, and that was about 3 years ago. He actually just went to take a nap and he never woke up. And unfortunately, my daughter's the one that found him. She wanted to, I think, have a lot of survivor's guilt, and she probably felt like if she had done something different, her dad would still be alive, and she took that very hard. And so I think instead of, being social, she just became more introverted and didn't want to, try to be friends with anybody because she just didn't want to be a burden either.
My biggest thing was guilt. Every decision you've ever made for your child and something happens like that, you start to question everything you've ever done and what happened, why. So there's a million questions that are never going to be answered because nobody knows. That's my hardest thing. You end up shutting down to the outside world and just being like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, even though you know you're not totally fine.
Yeah.
Obviously you go through, the shock and the denial and everything, because that's always, that first thing is like, you don't even know what's going on. It's like a massive, big blur. And, there is like that process of moving on. And I guess eventually we'll get to acceptance. We're not quite there yet. We will. But just, to get through all those and then just come out with a little bit of hope and to feel like, she still needs me, I still need her. We still, we've still got things to do, we've still got things we have to do, even though in your darkest moments that's quite hard to keep that at the forefront of your mind, because obviously this is, to lose a child is, I think one of the worst things anyone can ever go through.
We had a situation a few years back from a teacher at Winter Park High School, and she had called me, and she wanted to find out more about our grief support program, that she had a 10th grade student of hers, and she taught gifted children. And she said that this boy's father had died the previous November, and his schoolwork went from, what you expect from a gifted child, to zero. And she said now in the last few months, he's almost back to where he was. And she said I had a sit-down conversation with him and asked him, what's been the change? I've seen you. And he said, well, yeah, after my father's death, I had no interest in anything. And then my mother took me and my two brothers over to this place called New Hope for Kids in Maitland. And after being there, I feel different. I feel different about school. I feel more like I did before my dad died.
New Hope for Kids has definitely been a very positive support. I would say that, at least for my daughter, it has been a place where she can come to and she can relate with other kids who are going through the same issues.
It makes me feel a bit better because now I have friends to talk to and have fun, make new friends.
To know that there is hope and it does get easier. It doesn't change how you feel, but it does get to the point where you don't cry every time someone mentions his name, and you're not in pieces, and you start to remember the fun things rather than, oh God, I didn't say I love you that day, or I didn't do this, or I didn't say this, or did we hug that day? Did I hug him that morning? All those things that go through your head.
Beforehand, she just didn't have the interaction that I think she needed. And then once we came here, she started to go back to being her normal self. And I think that was the best part for me, because as a parent, we just want what's best for our kids, and I just wanted to see a smile on her face again.
Everyone here knows, and they don't mind talking to you, and and you'll talk about things that and you almost sound like a crazy person, but everyone here is also that crazy person. So it kind of you just feel like you're in a crew of people that understand.
It's not going to be normal for the first couple of like months or years, but like when you get really used to it, it's probably going to be normal. Like it's a new norm.
Yeah.